Good morning. Good morning. Welcome or welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Monday again. It is Monday, September the 22nd. It is officially fall. It is the autumn equinox. Hope you had a good weekend. And we start a new week of new books being published. Good morning, Elena. How you doing? She says, I'm good. Oh, good to hear. Good to see you. Quick announcements. I don't have any sprints tonight. I don't do them on Monday nights. Our next ones are tomorrow night, Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Today we are looking at the new releases in cozies, the lighter side of crime fiction. And first up is one of my favorite authors, Deadly Murder, 14th in the Carla Simpson series. Carla Simpson is the author. It is the Angus Brody and Michaela Forsyth murder historical mysteries. A chilling message on a note delivered to the Prince of Wales, a prank, a cruel joke, or a threat against the royal family. With only that note for a clue, Brody and Michaela are asked to find who was behind that message. But there is little to go on, only that note and the mysterious figure who delivered it and then disappeared. Their inquiries take a horrifying turn when a young man, the son of a longtime friend of the Prince of Wales, plunges to his death from the second-story balcony of the royal residence during a celebration with a second note found on his body. Then there were three. It is obvious that his death was no accident, and equally obvious that the Prince of Wales knows more than he has told them. Secrets begin to unravel for young men at university years earlier who formed a club, a night of reckless celebration, and a secret all were sworn to keep. Years later, those four young men hold powerful positions and include the Prince of Wales. Then a second young man tragically dies, and another note is discovered. And then there were two, etc. I highly recommend that series. If you loved Veronica Speedwell, this is in the same vibe, same type of character. Speaking of which, let's do a little housekeeping here. Another historical mystery, A Dark and Deadly Journey, third in the Evelyn Redfern series by Julia Kelly. After being sidelined for a pesky gunshot wound, typist turned field agent Evelyn Redfern is ready for her next assignment with Britain's secretive Special Investigations Unit, when a British intelligence informant in Portugal mysteriously disappears just after hinting that he has vital information about German plans that could tip the balance of World War II. Evelyn and her dashingly irksome partner David Poole are headed to Lisbon to find him. Once they land, Evelyn and David aren't even able to leave the airport before she discovers one of their fellow airplane passengers murdered and uncovers a diary with a clear link between the victim and their missing informant. With their mission in jeopardy before it can truly begin, Evelyn and David fight to keep their cover intact as they descend deeper into the shadows that surround Lisbon's glittering collection of wealthy expats and dangerous spies. This case will test Evelyn and David's training, charm, and wit, and their growing attraction to one another. A Perilous Plot by Lorna Barrett, 19th in the Booktown Mystery Series. Everything was going great for Tricia Miles right up until her estranged mother, Sheila, arrives on her front step with an urn she says contains the remains of Tricia's father. Shocked and saddened, Tricia and her sister Angelica attempt to get to the bottom of what happened, but their efforts for clarity are dashed when Sheila disappears the very next day, leaving without a word. Naturally, the sisters are upset, especially after they take the remains to the local funeral parlor and discover that not only is the urn filled with kitty litter, but hidden inside is a valuable and stolen Rolex watch. Digging deeper, the sisters find their parents are in dire financial trouble and seem to be lurking around Booktown. Tricia and Angelica can't help but wonder how many more secrets their mother was keeping and whether that includes murder. A Tour to Die For by Michelle Chouinard, second in the Serial Killer Guide to San Francisco Mysteries. Good morning, Kim. She finished the new Campers and Criminals on Saturday. Yes, congratulations. Sounds like you are keeping up with her prolific stories. Capri Sanzio knows that when you give serial killer walking tours for a living, unexpected situations are more common than San Francisco's famous fog. I've seen that fog. It is creepy. So when one of her guests claims to see a woman being attacked during a tour, Capri remains unfazed. The police search for the apartment in question and find no evidence of anything amiss, so they chalk it up to a false report from a true crime fanatic looking to be a part of a case. And Capri thinks they might be right, since lately her tours have been attracting even more obsessives than usual. As it turns out, finding the actual serial killer who committed the Overkill Bill murders didn't stop the constant questions about her grandfather's supposed crimes. It only intensified them. But Capri would never forgive herself if someone is in trouble and she walks away. Plus, something about the whole situation has everyone of Capri's investigative journalist instincts going haywire. Why would someone lie about seeing an attacked? So Capri starts to dig, and when her questions lead to a body, she finds herself at the center of another murder investigation. End of row one. She says, I like the Booktown series. It looks very popular. When do you start your part-time job, Kim? And she's trying to stay caught up. Oof, sometimes it's hard. Good afternoon, Helen. How's it going? And Kim says hello to Helen. A Bitter Wind by James R. Benn, 20th in the Billy Boyle World War II Mysteries. Christmas Day, 1944. After his last mission put him in the tailspin of the Battle of the Bulge, Captain Billy Boyle travels to southeast England to visit his girlfriend Diana Seaton for a brief holiday respite. Diana is engaged in classified work at RAF Hocking, including Operation Corona, which recruits German-speaking Women's Auxiliary Air Force members, many of them Jewish refugees from the Kindertransport rescue, to countermand German orders and direct night fighters away from Allied bombers. It's fascinating and critical espionage work, but it's laced with peril, as Billy finds out. On a scenic Christmas walk along the White Cliffs of Dover, Billy and Diana stumble upon the dead body of a U.S. Air Force officer. In the dead man's pocket are papers with highly confidential information about radio interception operations, information worth killing over. As Billy digs into the secret world of code breakers and radio jammers stationed at Hocking, it might be pronounced differently, I apologize. Another body turns up. Now Billy must find out what connects these two men and who was so hell-bent on silencing them. Enlisting the help of his longtime associates, Billy undertakes another thrilling investigation that brings him to war-torn Yugoslavia, where he must rescue an escaped POW who may be the only person who knows the truth. We've got a lot of good historical mysteries today. Tasha Alexander has a new one. 19th in her Lady Emily Mysteries, The Sisterhood. London, 1907, when the season's most accomplished and elegant debutante, Victoria Goldsborough, collapses and dies at her engagement ball, the great and good of London society prepare to mourn the tragic loss of an upstanding young woman. But all is not what it seems, and after a toxic beverage is revealed to be the cause of death, the king himself instructs Lady Emily and her husband Colin Hargraves to unearth the truth. Who would want to harm one of the most popular women of the year? Is it her fiancé, with whom she had an unusually brief courtship? A rival for his affections, bitter at being cast aside? Her best friend, who is almost certainly hiding a secret from Colin and Emily? A disappointed suitor with a hidden gambling habit? Or a notorious jewel thief who has taken a priceless tiara from the Goldsborough home? When a second debutante succumbs to poison, the race is on to find a ruthless killer. Emily and Colin's investigation leads to a centuries-old tomb in the center of London with a mysterious link to another death dating back to Roman times and the violent reign of Boudica, ancient Britain's fearsome warrior queen. As the stakes rise and the clock ticks down, Emily must find the killer before they strike again. Hello, Mary. How are you doing? Thank you. Thank you. Oh, we go back even further. Kim says she's coming to town Friday to bring supplies, so hopefully this week. Awesome. Thank you for my blessings for the sneezes. Mary says, good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Today is my birthday. Well, happy birthday, Mary. Edging closer and closer to 80, but not there yet. Well, happy leveling up day on the first day of fall. Kim says, happy birthday, Mary. And Mary says, thanks. How are you doing? And Kim says, sprints on Tuesdays on Tiffany's channel tonight. Oh, okay. Neither Stormy nor Sarah. And Kim says, doing okay. How are you? And Kim says, I love Tasha Alexander. Started rereading. Yeah, I have started rereading as well. And Mary says, okay, thanks. Packing for the trip to Scotland. Yes, and getting a little panicky that I'm so unprepared. Don't be worried about that. Things will go well. Oh, Scotland is going to be so cool. The Killer Question by Janice Hallett. Sue and Mel Eastwood run an isolated rural pub called The Case is Altered, where a weekly trivia game has revived its flagging fortunes. That is, until a body is found in the nearby river. Soon after, a mysterious new team arrives and shakes up the diverse field of regulars by scoring top marks in every round, every week. Meanwhile, Sue and Mel have a secret of their own. Before arriving here, they were caught up in a secret police operation, which meant they had to leave town, and whatever happened back then seems to have finally caught up with them. 5 years later, the pub lies derelict, and their nephew Dominic is determined to make a documentary about their story. What happened at this unassuming pub, and can a single question really kill? Interesting. Murder in Miniature by Katie Tijan. Second in series in the Maple Bishop Historical Mysteries. All right. In post-World War II Vermont, Maple Bishop has a thriving dollhouse business and a new career as a crime scene consultant for the local sheriff's office. On the surface, she seems to be doing well, but deep down, Maple is still reeling from the death of her husband. When the body of an aspiring firefighter who was close childhood friends with Kenny, the sheriff's deputy and Maple's confidant, is discovered in the charred remains of a burned cabin, Maple is called in to help determine whether the fire was an accident or a case of murder by arson. Realizing there's more to the crime than meets the eye, she sets out to unearth the discrepancies from the scene by recreating the cabin in miniature. The investigation leads them to Maple's old Boston neighborhood, forcing her to confront the past she's desperately trying to forget. As Maple and Kenny sift through clues, they uncover dark secrets that hit close to home, unraveling in unexpected ways and putting their lives in danger. End of that row. And Elena says, good morning to Kim and Mary. And how are you doing today, Kim and Mary? And Elena also says hello to Helen. Kim says, I think she's covering for Sarah tonight. I missed what Sarah said last night. I think something with her health again. Okay. That makes sense. Murder at Blackwood Inn by Penny Warner, a Haunted Dead and Breakfast series. Ghostwriter Carissa Blackwood is having the worst year of her life. After leaving her cheating husband, she finally takes up the offer to help her two eccentric aunts manage the Blackwood bed and breakfast. in Pelican Point, California, a house they only recently inherited from their deceased father, Bram Blackwood. The old man dabbled in the occult, and his daughters haven't fallen far from the family tree. Aunt Runa is into crystals and plans to hold seances at the reportedly haunted house. Aunt Hazel has an herbery and offers herbal cures for everything from headaches to paranormal visions. But it's Hazel's poison garden that really concerns Carissa. When one of the townspeople dies from a poison that could have only come from Aunt Hazel's garden, the town is quick to point fingers. It doesn't help that one of Aunt Runa's charms is found at the scene of the crime. After a little help from Noah, the mysterious and handsome handyman, Aiden, the charming newspaperman, and the ghost of Carissa's grandfather, it's up to Carissa to clear her aunts and find the real killer before someone else is checked out for good at the B&B. Danger in the Desert. Is that the wire I'm looking for? Looking for my charger. I can't seem to find it. Where'd you go, little Sheba? Is that you? Ah, there it is. Sorry, I need to have it charged while we're working. All right. Danger in the Desert by C.C. James, third in the Cozy Mysteries on the Open Road series. When Clara Fitzwater and her quirky crew roll into Cactus Creek in their trusty van, Breadloaf, they're expecting a lighthearted escape. Cheering on her old theater pal Archie, creaks and whispers of a ghost tied to the stage's shadowy past hint at more than just faulty wiring. As opening night looms, Clara's gut tells her someone or something is pulling strings behind the scenes. Is it old man Pritchard, the long-dead owner haunting the boards, or a flesh-and-blood saboteur out to dim Archie's spotlight? In a desert town blooming with secrets, Claire's about to uncover a drama that's anything but... There we go. Cocoa Clues and Creepy Crawlies. Morgana Best is the author. This is fourth in the Chocolate Shop Mysteries. The book is based on her 2017 book, Chocolate to Die For, and has been extensively rewritten. 170 pages. We'll give it its moment here, but it is already published, even though it's extensively rewritten. And moving on. The Itch of Greed by Krista Nardi, sixth in the Izzy DeSante Mysteries. A dark cloud hangs over the baseball season in small-town Rosedale when star pitcher to pin the crime on Cole Wrigley, a friend's brother and fellow pitcher, citing the fierce competition for a major league trade as his motive for murder. Wrigley's brother asks Henry, an reluctant restaurant adding fuel to the fire. When the team's PR person is targeted after meeting with the sleuth, the threats become all too real. The closer Izzy gets to uncovering the truth on and off the field, the higher the stakes and the more dangerous the game becomes. End of that row. We'll have time for one more here. Resort at Castaway Bay, Hunting or Homicide, 11th in the Resort at Castaway Bay series by Kathy Daly. Sydney Whitmore is already up to her ears in wedding plans, wine tastings, and wendigos when her best friend Kelly Green scores them invites to an exclusive Halloween bash at a long-abandoned monastery. Perched above a vineyard and steeped in ghost stories since Sid and Kelly were children, the crumbling estate is the perfect backdrop for a night of high-dollar scares. But when Dracula turns up dead, and the suspects include a mummy, a ghost, and a wolfman, none of whom ever remove their masks, Officer Sam Stone enlists Sid and Kelly to help unmask a killer hiding behind a monster's face. All right, the bell is about to ring. We have quite a few more, but if I remember right, there's not as many. Yeah, there's not as many cozy crime fiction and thrillers this week, so we'll probably do some more cozies on Wednesday after we look at those, if that feels okay with everybody. So we get to everybody. Kim says, funeral today. Oh dear, for my daddy's cousin's wife today. She was 80ish, not sure exactly. Oh, very sorry. Mary says, I don't know how I feel about re-releasing books that have been extensively rewritten. Wouldn't bother with it myself. Yeah, I don't know really how to. I give them their moment, but still, it's been published before. Kim says, feed keeps glitching. Oh, I'm sorry. And Kim says, have a good day, y'all. Indeed, you too. Thank you guys. Appreciate you guys hanging out. So Wednesday, we'll look at crime fiction and thrillers, and then some more of the cozy mysteries. And as Kim says, the sprints tonight are on Tiffany's channel if you want to do some sprinting. My next sprints are tomorrow night, Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. I do every Tuesday and Thursday evenings and Saturday afternoons. Mary says, thanks, everyone. Have a great day. You, Mary, have a great birthday. Hope to see you later. And if I don't, have a very happy birthday, you sneaky little girl. And everybody else have a good Monday. And as the banner says, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Have a good day and God bless.